You're in the wrong time zone.
Yeah.
We'll call the meeting of the Ramsey County Committee in order. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everybody for attending, those in person and online. First item on the agenda would be to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the agenda items or the minutes from last meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the bills.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the bills as submitted. And roll call, please.
Otis.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Aye. Bills are paid. Financial reports.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports as submitted. Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Gessner.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Aye. The financials are approved. Treasurer's checks. We have a list of treasurer's checks, moving some money around to help pay some bills, and the FEMA flood money comes into one account and goes to another to pay bills as well. So you can see those listed in the list of treasurer's checks.
Move to approve the.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the treasurer's checks as submitted. Roll call, please.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's checks are approved. Agenda, any additions to the agenda for today?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted, printed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Now, Water Resource District, they want to come in now?
Let me get on.
Sure. See if Paul wanted to come at the same time. Morning, Brian.
Morning. Been a little while since I've been here, not a whole lot has changed over in our neck of the woods. Biggest thing that has come up is the Edmore Cooley, Ramsey 10 vote has been pushed back into the spring now. There was some procedural errors that our lawyer found that we want to get straightened out. So today we'll be getting a schedule up for that. Got our joint meeting with the Cavalier guys after our meeting this morning, so then we should have a schedule that'll be ready for the public and everybody will know what's going on with that. There has been a little bit of cleaning done in the upper basin on some of our assessments. I think they're about 5 miles on the Starkweather Coulee and a short little stretch on the Hamer Sullivan. Snow has been not helpful with that, but they're still working on it. Haven't heard much from anybody, so that seems to be going as well as possible considering the snow. There's been a lot of talk from the eastern side of the county, our joint project with Nelson County. I think working with that, it's kind of showing that there needs to be a need for a overall plan for water management in the county. So a lot of little pieces people are trying to work on by themselves, and they all interconnect. And I think with a little bit of coordination, stuff could work more efficiently and cheaper instead of just piecemealing problems together as they come together. So, well, that'll be one thing. Probably be asking for some guidance from you guys later this winter about what we need to be doing to have a kind of a more or less comprehensive plan how we want to deal with some of these waterways and how it affects all the way from the top of the county down through the bottom here.
So I wonder if working with that NDL tap and the Red River Water Institute and others about the culvert sizes and stream flows. And, you know, because I'm thinking when a lot of those roads were done, Kevin, was 30, 40 years ago, and maybe even longer. And some of those stream crossings may need to be reevaluated. It seems like every time we go in and ask for one, it comes up bigger than what was in there currently. And every time you upsize one, you're affecting everything downstream from that as well. So that may be something to work with those various organizations on making sure that those are accurate and updated. And I know the Red River Water Institute did a lot of work with their LIDAR and culverts and stuff like that. And NDL TAP is supposed to get updated stuff from the townships and county roads and things like that as they get done and replaced, and what our needs are. I think there was a survey to all the townships from NDL TAP for township road needs, so they could better allocate funds in the future. But yeah, that'd be a good thing, and continuing to work with the neighboring counties on some of that, because not all our water comes from Ramsey County. It comes from other areas outside the county. And
just going with what you said, I mean, you've got the one culvert you're replacing on County 4 up there. It's in the process of planning it, I think, the one washed out this spring.
Yeah.
And that'll be, more likely it'll be a bigger culvert that'll go in there. And right away, the townships down below it looked at it and said, you know, there's going to be 3 or 4 crossings that this is going to have an immediate effect on.
right.
And, you know, all the little things that are starting to add up, you know, all the water in Ramsey County more or less flows through that Church's Ferry area. You know, there's more water, more rain over the last 20 years, more water going that way affects them. And then also we've got the ditch on the east side of the county that, you know, is that something that we could get a more planned ditch there that could take some of the pressure off and put the water down to the east side of the lake for water quality to help keep the pump going. A lot of pieces like that really need to be looked at instead of just piecemealing, oh, we need a bigger culvert here, we need a bigger culvert there, and do something and push all the water to the same spot and have the same problems instead of trying to come up with a plan to tackle them.
I know that you guys are meeting with Nelson County on Thursday about some issues with that Claire Bartlett snag and clear project, and then some other areas over there. They're looking at some bigger culverts over on, I think is it 95th, 98th, and 45th, 46th, something like that, over by that Dykoff Slough area where it comes out of that WPA. And looking at 348s. And those are some big culverts, and whether or not, and I know Bartlett Township has resisted that because they don't want to, they think that bigger culverts here could have a have a negative effect in the south end of Bartlett Township, so they wanna make sure that all the i's are dotted, t's are crossed, and they're not doing something that's gonna harm other areas of their township before they go ahead and ask for something like that.
It's kind of the whole plan that you change it here. You're not required to figure out the consequences downstream, but when we start making decisions to change it, you should be considering that.
Is that Claire Bartlett, Snag and Clear project, or was that all completed now?
The work on it is completed. As far as the digging the dirt, there was some wildlife easement areas that we worked through, that there was exemptions granted to get the water off, and now we have to revisit that. Was kind of the point of the meeting coming up on Thursday, is to revisit them. Some dirt may have to be put back in. So we've been working with Fish and Wildlife about different options as to how to deal with that. You know, you can always go around them. So, but we don't need to be antagonistic about some of the stuff. If we can work with them and improve what they want for some of their Fish and Wildlife sloughs, at the same time getting the water to move as we need it to. That would be what I'm hoping to accomplish with that.
Yeah. Anything else, Brian?
That's pretty much all we've got going on that's major at the moment, so. Anything else for us to answer, or?
Anybody have anything for Brian?
And if you guys do get any calls from anybody in the county, don't be afraid to reach out to me or anybody else. Do a lot of the work here at night or when I'm on the road, so if you have any questions, I'll bring them up and we'll try to get answers for you as quickly as possible so we can keep everybody informed.
And you have a board member retiring at the end of the year. Do you have any names that of interest that people have indicated?
There's been a couple people that have expressed slight interest. I don't know how far that's went, so I don't know how you go about if we advertise a position or if we continue to spend a word of mouth. But I don't know if there's any real strong interest right at the moment yet for anybody to come on there. So.
Okay. Well, we still have some time but it'd be best to look for someone sooner than later.
Ideally, we'd like to have somebody from the western side of the county, if possible. They've got some problems over there. Then there's an assessment district that's very active right in the area. It would work great if we could have somebody with a little bit of local knowledge and work with that. But if we don't get the interest from there, the spot has to be filled either way. So.
Yep, we'll help you out on that with advertisement and promotion of that. So, I want to send Mr. Christensen over. He's next on our agenda.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Take a look at that North Dakota Century Code in our packets at 44 or 40-43-107. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Looking for some reimbursement on some mowing in Church's Ferry.
Two things I guess I'm here for. One is when the city dissolved, going by the Century Code, part of that, if you read through it, the Century Code said that there should be a manager for the property. So I'm here just to, I don't want no money for that, but I'd like to have my name put into your record here, at least while I'm alive and kicking out there, to be the manager. I'm there, I've been there all my life. I know every square inch of the city limits that was there and some of the changes that FEMA did make. So I guess I'm just looking to see if you guys are willing to, go along with that, century code deal and just put my name in as the property manager out there, period. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I guess, is, we turned back over 3,000 to the county, when we quit. And so I guess, that's what I did before. I guess the city, when we had a little bit of money left, I'd ask them for $250 for the whole year, because I moved all the snow before you guys got involved and stuff. And last winter I moved a pile of it too. And then keep up all this property that now is the county's. When the trees blow down, I cut them up and drag them out, and I keep the grass mowed for the most part, and the rest of it, like on the south side of the tracks, I mow that in the fall as much as I can. I don't do as much work over there as I do on the north side, obviously, but if you ever drive by out there, you'll see it. It's, nobody else does it except me, so that's what I'm looking for. If you don't want to do any of it, that's fine. If you at least appoint me as the manager of the property out there, that would be greatly appreciated. Because it's what the century code says you can do. You don't have to, but you can. If you don't want to do anything, I guess that's fine too, but you don't get anything if you don't ask. And I don't know if a lot of the other people on the commission really even know the situation out there and how, what we're different than Penn or anybody else, because we were incorporated and then dissolved. That's a whole different deal than Penn. Everyone wants to say, well, Penn, they don't get enough. Well, yeah, but that's different. They never were where we were and then come down. So that there is a major difference between Church's Ferry and Penn or any of the other communities in the county.
Sorry, anybody want to make a motion to approve Mr. Christensen as the manager of the property within Church's Ferry?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to accept Mr. Christensen and appoint him as the manager of the property within the boundaries of Church's Ferry. Discussion? Question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. And thank you for volunteering for that.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing would be is your expenses for mowing.
Yeah, I don't want all of them. Like I said, I didn't bring a bill or anything today here,
Okay,
because I didn't know what
Sure.
was what. But, I can bring one to the next meeting if that's what you want. I can have, so you have a document.
well, I think maybe submitting an invoice to our auditor, and we can get that taken care of. We don't necessarily need you to explain it or anything like that, but as long as we receive an invoice is how we would then in turn pay you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not looking for total reimbursement.
Right,
I'm just looking for a small percentage,
yep,
just to take the edge off, that's all.
sure,
No problem.
Because the fuel is expensive.
yep,
I mean, whether you're mowing with a big tractor with a diesel or mowing the grass with the gas one, it's expensive.
yep.
If you're not taking care of it, we're gonna have to send someone out there to take care of it anyway.
Well, somebody will start whining. The two other neighbors will start whining. Even myself, if I lived there and wasn't able to do it, I guess I'd be whining, but I got a few years left in me.
So,
Appreciate that.
Okay,
yep, we appreciate that, thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next item on our agenda, we got, not till 9 o'clock, bid opening. Kevin, we can go into your report.
Okay. First of all, that box cover on Ramsey 4, due to the cold weather, the paving didn't get done up there, but they did put a little extra gravel on there, so it'll be, won't be so rough during the winter. The construction signs are removed and pavement end signs were put up. Well, let's see, Paul, the only thing left is the paving, striping, and seeding. He's figuring approximately 1 to 2 days of liquidated damages to be assessed this spring. So any questions about that?
Just liquidated damage.
Every time we bid a project, we say you got till this date to get it done. If it goes past that date, liquidated damages start, and it's like $1,500. I don't know what this one is. Usually $1,500 a day for every day. And so that's, they start paying us for not having it done by that contract date.
You cut them a break because of the weather?
Yeah. And then Strata was unable, Strata was working on a project here in town, and they weren't able to get up there to finish. Or even start. In the weather, the temperature was getting too cold to be paving anyway. I think they were working at the airport, but anyway. Any other questions about the box culvert? Our 2024 paving project on Ramsey 3. Looking at my budget, I think I have enough money in my budget to do that without using any of our federal aid dollars. I have like $1.5 million in the prairie dog fund, and the project is estimated at 1.6. There'll be some engineering on top of that 1.6, about 1.65. And then, so then I have another 500,000 that I can put towards the project too. So with the engineering and the construction, I should have close to $2 million towards that project 2024.
So it won't be behind a year.
Right, actually, yeah, right, 1 year. And actually, you know, if we got into our 2026 project, we'd really be borrowing ahead. So this way, we're gonna not be borrowing ahead on our federal dollars, we'll catch up basically.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for the prairie dog.
Yeah, right. 1.5 million there, so that really helps us. So just to keep you informed, we're probably gonna move forward with that. Paul's been doing the design work, so it's just a matter of, there's a few more hoops we won't have to jump through now. We're not using federal dollars, but we still wanna cover our bases on, so we don't get in trouble on something. So any questions about that? One thing I should add to that, we don't have to widen that road, that particular road, so that saves on our cost. We were thinking that project was gonna be twice that amount, since we were gonna have to widen shoulders, but we didn't have to widen shoulders there, so that really helped save on this particular project. Okay. We got the culverts from True North Steel for the bridge. Culvert replacement on the bridge project south of Kevin Reagan's, and then we got some other that the state highway had ordered and other customers. And the cost of those culverts is $32,160.77, and I entertain a motion to pay for those.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay True North Steel the cost of the culverts. $32,160.77. Roll call, please.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Kestner.
Aye.
Aye.
Also, we got new tires for 2 of the plow trucks and some other repairs. So the bill to service tire this month is $6,997.92, and we'd like to entertain a motion to pay that.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay for the tires. Service tire, 2 plow trucks, $6,997.92. Roll call, please.
Kestner,
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We got an invoice from KLJ for the design work that they're doing on Ramsey 3, that paving project we just talked about. It is $21,037.50. Entertain a motion to pay that.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the motion to pay KLJ for the design work on Ramsey 3, $21,037.50. Roll call, please.
Kestner,
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Volk. Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Brett.
Aye. Motion passes.
Also, I haven't told everybody this yet, but I hired Close Construction to do some spot gravel on 4 north and south on. I think we put 14 loads on the 3 spots that were bad there. I got the invoice for that now, and it is for $5,687.50. So I entertain the motion to pay that.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay for close construction on the gravel on Ramsey 4. Roll call, please.
Volk.
Aye.
Otis.
Aye.
Kestner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I should add to that I forgot that I had a bunch of FEMA money I could use to, for this spot graveling and also for next spring or early summer, late spring, we'll probably do some spot gravel on 4 north of 17, the first 3 or 4 miles, 4 miles. There was like $176,000 FEMA money that I completely forgot about, so we're sitting pretty good there.
So that's what you wanna use for this 5,000?
Yeah.
We have to change that motion? Yeah.
It all goes, I mean, it goes,
Same thing.
yeah, it goes into my accounts or whatever, my road accounts. It doesn't actually come out of the fuel money. It's kind of a reimbursement type thing.
We just reimbursed that, Kevin.
What's that?
We just did it. We reimbursed it into that account.
So the plan would be to put a light coat on 4 north of 17, and then do the regular project, or just do the regular project?
No, we put a light coat on this spring and then in 25, it's scheduled to be gravelled anyway, so it'd just be a full coat then, which it probably needs, it needs that double.
Just
job.
spot repair right now until 2025,
Right.
just so we can tell the paper. This is
Right. That FEMA money is kind of confusing. Let's just say, for instance, when we gravelled the county line road, I took all that money out of my budget to pay for that invoice. So now there's FEMA sites on that road, and I can take my FEMA money and put it back into my account. I mean, I'm using money out of my budget to pay for the project, but I'm reimbursed now. So it's a little confusing, but that's how that works. All right, keep moving here. I'd like to advertise for bids for the new lowboy trailer. It's in my budget for next year. It'd be a 50-ton to pull behind the semis. So we can haul our motor graders if they break down or have to go somewhere to get fixed. I don't know if this needs a motion, but for now, it'd just be to put an ad in the paper. Asking for bids. I'm not sure how we handle that in the past, to be quite honest.
I think we go ahead and make a motion to advertise for bids.
I would so move.
Motion and a second to advertise for bids for a low-boy trailer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So you have a bull boy now?
We do, and we trade that one out.
I was just gonna ask that question, so if you hold them to jump sit down.
Yeah, we've got a semi now with a wet kit on it, and our old lowboy has a gas motor on it that runs hydraulics, so we could go into a wet kit on the new one. And then also I'd like to advertise for bids for a new snowblower for the new John Deere skid steer. That'd be out of next year's budget also. Again, this is just for advertising for bids.
Move to approve the advertising.
Second.
Motion and a second to advertise for bids for a new snow blower, the John Deere skid steer. Any questions? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And just for your information, I asked the striping company that does the stripes painting on our roads, if they would stripe the sections that we put overlays on, and they did it for nothing, so just wanted to mention that to you guys. It's J&J Striping out of McHenry.
Thank you to J&J Striping.
And then I also put together a load of culverts just for inventory. Our culvert prices went down this year, so I thought it'd be a good time to stock up on them. That inventory load would cost $34,111.48. So I entertain a motion to order those.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to go ahead and order culverts for inventory. $34,111.48. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
And I have one more thing. We got the invoice from Post Construction for the gravel that he hauled to our shop yard for our stockpile. It was exactly what he had quoted us. It's $13,000, 1,000 yards, so I'd like to entertain a motion to pay that.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay Klaus Construction $13,000 for gravel hauled to the yard. Roll call, please.
Otis.
Aye.
Volk.
Aye.
Gessner.
Aye.
Wilhelmie.
Aye.
Aye.
That's all I have, unless you have something for me. Still trying to hire 3 people.
Ramsey 6.
Yep.
Good query.
The county line road. Tough shape.
There's 3 spots, there's 6 is good. So that's maybe got 5.
Going north of the highway?
Huh?
North of the highway?
No, that 6 goes east.
Well, it goes east and then it comes down.
Right.
So that's listed as what, 6, whatever, A, B, C, something, that county line road.
County line road, I don't know, we just call it county line road.
Okay. I know there's some tough spots within that.
There's about 3 spots.
Yeah.
We did haul 4 loads there, but probably could use some more after all this snow.
Yeah. Well, there's some areas in there that it looks like there's no gravel on there, and it's, when it's wet, it's black, muddy,
So,
weathered.
those are the ones. And that one is scheduled to be gravel next summer also.
Next summer, that one's scheduled to be gravel.
There's some FEMA sites on that road also.
Okay.
I do have a question, Kevin, if it dries out here, do you plan on getting the blades out to knock some down, some of the ruts down that were caused during this?
On the township roads, I don't know. If
Well,
we
even
find
on-
any on the county roads, we would, but
Yeah, even on the county. Well, I'm just asking because I know the trucks have been running pretty heavy with the corn, taking corn off right now, and it's beating up the roads pretty bad just because of this being soft and mucky. And,
yeah.
I mean, if it dries out, it'd be nice maybe to hit some of them.
Yeah, depending on the weather, if they don't freeze too hard, I mean, we'll do the best we can, but yeah. I mean,
Cause otherwise it makes such a mess for the spring, doesn't it?
yeah, it does, I mean, all winter long, but unless they fill with snow.
I guess my thoughts, if there's ruts out there and then all of a sudden we get snow on and that water sits on there in the spring and it's just gonna even be worse.
Right.
There's no crown to it, you know.
Yeah, so if you see any spots,
I mean, if it dries, hopefully you're.
right, it's kind of, depends on the weather, if it freezes too hard, of course, we can't cut them, but normally it doesn't freeze real hard for another couple of weeks. We'll do the best we can, so if you see a spot out there, you know,
We will get some sun, right?
I hope so. We're short blade operators, of course, but we'll do the best we can.
3 days still?
Two blade guys and a shop guy.
Which blade guys are they?
Webster and Greg. We did interviews the first part of the week, so we should hope to find 2 people out of that group.
So we have some applicants in.
Yeah, we had some good apps this time. Just a matter of they'll come to work for what we offer.
I saw we had we should have a qualified trainer. I saw Jason
Yeah.
was out training for North Dakota LTAP and winter maintenance, so, yeah, good for him.
Yeah,
So he
if
was
you ever
out
get the chance, you should go listen, he's a good talker.
in Williston and Grafton, was he? Was it?
And I grabbed this,
Tomorrow, okay. So, well, appreciate what you and your guys do, so I know it's always difficult.
he's also a trainer for CDLs. You know, they have to get their permit offline or whatever, but then he's a trainer for the driving.
Okay,
We sent him through that school.
well, good. Thank you, guys. Any other questions for Kevin?
Just a comment, I was downtown here a couple days ago, by Gursky there east. It's 10, right?
Yeah.
That first 4 miles east there could use one of drives.
That's one that's got some runs on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's one, a lot of the operators that's gone, so. They get the left of the goal.
Going past that was okay.
Yeah,
But
that's
that
what
first,
new grade races, so yeah. They go to that bean elevator a lot.
Oh, the one west of Gursky there,
That's the
so,
Garski elevator uses that as a scale,
yeah.
so every truck that got away has to go that direction.
Okay. Well, I know it's not an easy time of year, so appreciate you guys for what they do and good luck finding.
Right, we'll be training 3 blade operators all at the same time, so it'll be interesting.
Well, hopefully people have a understanding and a little bit of patience when it comes to this time of year and new operators, that it's not the operator, you know, if they have issues, it's sometimes above that pay scale. Come talk to you, come talk to commission. That's where things get resolved. Please don't, you know, delay the maintainers out on the roads by stopping and complaining. Complaints are best held at the top. So, thank you. All right. Gade, how are you doing?
Doing well, yeah.
Good.
Good morning, Ramsey
Good morning.
County Commission. I recognize most everybody in the room nowadays. We try not to come in too often for you guys. I got the boring part of the meeting today, the money market accounts and rates. But we've got Bryce here. He's got the exhilarating piece of it. He's our muni bond expert, so I'll let him go after a bit here. I just want to take an opportunity to introduce a a new, it's called an IntraFi cash service solution. This is something that I've been talking to Lisa about. Bremer recently did a full assessment of the collateral and rates for our public fund clients. We're adding the ICS solution as a secured collateral option. Normally I work with Lisa and Brent Heller on either Federal Home Loan Bank letter of credit or pledge securities is how we secure your assets. Now we're adding ICS, which we'd only look at linking the money market account, the existing money market savings, with that new ICS to collateralize the funds. So what we do is it's within a promontory network of banks that all participate in this ICS solution. And we can kind of disperse the funds out. So it's in the chunks of the 250,000 that's secured by FDIC. So by doing that, it costs the bank less money to collateralize through ICS. Therefore, we can offer you a higher rate. So I'm coming to you with fun news today. What I hope is that I can pay you more money on the money you keep with Bremer. So right now we would offer 5.05% on the money market savings account. I think right now we're at 4.5%. If I remember right.
Something's in there.
So we're excited about that solution. It's still fully liquid. We link it to your money market. It's kind of a sweep account, so it runs through that ICS, but you can still make transfers in and out fully liquid through Bremer online portal, Lisa. It takes, I think it's some pretty basic paperwork. It takes about 2 to 3 days to set up this ICS solution. And then one thing that's important for the commissioners to understand is this is approved through the Century Code, and those dollars are fully collateralized then through FDIC. So it's kind of a neat thing. We're actually transitioning several of our municipalities into these ICS solutions. You guys have probably heard of this already, but it's just kind of starting to roll out in North Dakota. We've been doing this in Minnesota for a little while now, but we've got a couple in town that we're working on. That's what I wanted to present to you guys today. I've got some handouts I did email.
Did give it to Candy and you flushed them out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I did take a survey, amongst the other counties, and this is a big hit. I mean, there's quite a few counties that are going best pay.
Are going what?
The ICS.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a nifty tool, and that's one thing that, we try to stay in front of you guys on ways to, maximize the interest rate through the bank. And I guess that would segue into a few years ago, we explored the muni bonds at the time when the banks, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of years ago, we weren't paying anybody anything. It was less than 1%, I think, was your return. So we looked at a municipality kind of bond strategy that I feel really good about. I think we had a nice return over the last couple of years, but that's why we bring Bryce, because he can explain that better than me.
I brought some handouts that I can hand out, and they're pretty fresh, so I didn't have it emailed to you, but. So I'm just looking over the first page here, and I'm not gonna go through every page. Some of it you can look through, but if you have questions, we can certainly go through it. So if you look at just the first page at the top, the coupon, so the average basically interest payment, that's the coupon payments that we're getting, is 2.55%. Some of that comes down to that we bought the bonds from a while ago when rates were much lower. As things mature, we'd get higher rates. I think the big number to look at is the yield to maturity. That's gonna be, if you hold the bonds till maturity, you're gonna keep getting those coupon payments, plus all the growth, because they've had declines. So it's gonna return a 5.49%
over that time frame. You can see the maturity, and it's 3.19. Basically what that means is the average maturity on all the bonds is about little over 3 years, 3.19 years. If we look down below at the graphs on the bottom right, you can see that the blue, 15.9% is less than 1 year. So within 12 months, almost 16% of the portfolio is going to be maturing. Over the short duration, the green, 1 to 5 years is 67.9, so almost 68%. And then there's a little bit of 16.2% in the 5 to 10 year window. We have been working with Lisa. We've been talking about as things mature, not reinvesting them or selling if we get things at a gain. So far, we've been close to having a couple sales. We've been still waiting to get just so it's at a gain. There's been a couple that have been right on the fence. I will say some of those have much higher interest rates. The ones that are kind of right around the gain are in the like 6% coupon range. So happy to move it over. The bank's offering great rates on that side. But all the holdings are in here, so you can see that on the next couple pages if people want. Like I said, I don't want to bore you going through and taking all your time going one by one through this, but you can kind of look through that. If you flip all the way to the back side, the last page, I think this one's kind of handy. You can see the income stream that is projected, and this is basically if you just hold the bonds till maturity, don't reinvest them, they're just slowly going to go down that income stream. And then the bottom graph is the maturity. So you can just kind of see the values in a graph form of when those maturities are. You can see it goes all the way out to 2033, but pretty small amounts. Most of it is, 2027, some in 2028, and then it really starts to decline on how far out we are. Totally up to the group on what you want to do. We can certainly, slowly weed these out. I do think it's probably in the best interest not to sell them at a loss, just because if you hold them until maturity, you will get the full value back. I still do think in the long run, if you were to keep doing the bond ladder, it's going to do better than a savings. It always has, just because you are taking a little more risk than a savings account. It's not a fully guaranteed, but still fully within the state statutes. And, we're not doing anything wild and crazy with investments. It's all just, government bonds, things like that, municipal bonds. It was really just, the values have shown losses until they mature because we've had such a quick rise in interest rates here the last year and a half or so. So as interest rates rise, if you need to sell the bonds early, the values go down because people are going, well, I can buy a new one paying 6%. Maybe I'll buy yours paying 2.5%, but I want to buy it at a discount. But as long as you hold till maturity, you get the full par value back of the bonds, plus all the interest you got over the years that we held them. But that's kind of been the plan that we've worked with Lisa, is that we would probably start to just let them roll off and put them into the money market, being that rates come up so much. But we're happy to help with whatever either way. If you want us to keep going with it, we sure can. Otherwise, we can continue down the path of, if things get to a gain where rates have maybe declined a little bit, we can sell them early, as long as there are gains too. I just don't want to see the losses, sell them early, take a loss to put it into something when we can get that yield to maturity of 5.49%. So it's still going to be a good yield for you over the life of it, as long as we just hold them and let them mature. But yeah, questions, or hopefully that can hit on anything.
And I guess why I asked these two fellows to come in is to explain to you, what's going on. You have questions of the bonds, the new, today we have a CD that's come up. It's in Rivera, it's 3 million. We're gonna either move or, I'm gonna bid it out. We're gonna see where we're at.
questions, or as people are, like I said, I didn't wanna go through each holding, but if people are looking through and had questions on anything, can certainly visit about that too, but, yeah, we have lots of good options, so it's just a matter of what you feel comfortable with and where Lisa's comfort is, and making sure that we're just making everything that we can do for the county available to you, I think is the big part, so.
This face amount, that's where we started, right?
So the base amount is gonna be what you get at the end. So that's what the actual par value of all the bonds is the 3 million. The market value is the 2,780,000. The cost is actually what we paid, which you'll see it is a little more than the face. And the reason for that is when rates were so low, to get a little better interest for you, we had to pay a little more above the actual face value. But we looked at it overall as a yield, and it was gonna be the best bet for the county over the duration of the bond. Because it was better to pay a little extra to get the more interest than buy one that was at par value and get a lower interest rate. It worked out for the benefit when you take in the interest plus what you get at the end.
So I guess my question is the amount we started with?
Yep.
You remember what that was?
3 million.
So it was 3 million was
So
what
that's
we,
basically the face value.
yeah, basically it is, where it was with a little interest and things have, been reinvested a couple times with some of them, so. Any other questions or thoughts?
Kate, what did you say the interest rate on the money market for that ICS
Yep, 5.05.
505?
So we're above 5% now. You can get CDs out there, 5.3, maybe even better nowadays, but the intra cash service is tied to the money market,
Right.
fully liquid. So pretty competitive rate.
Hmm.
And that's where, I would recommend, as these things mature, move them back over to that
Yep.
FCS. Just because we caught up on the yield.
Yeah,
And that's the main thing is, Bryce and I, we do different things, but we kind of work together, when I'm not paying you guys anything, you bring in a guy like Bryce.
Yeah. And we've seen that over the years with other municipalities or things where there's been times where we flip back and forth, sometimes they'll move some back into bonds, sometimes we move it back to the bank, just depending on where rates are and what makes the most sense, so. It's just the market environment where we are right now, where the bank is pretty competitive to have it completely liquid. But
So when it's more liquid, you just have more control, right?
yeah, it's just, on that bank product, you're not gonna see any fluctuation with the values. Where the bonds, you're gonna see fluctuation in the value.
Because of the time picture,
Right,
right?
yeah,
I understand.
In that ICS, Lisa would have full access to those funds.
Yeah, I understand. I was just.
Yeah.
The control of it is more on Lisa than it is on the bonds waiting over time. period.
right, and the bonds are still fairly liquid. If you tell me you need the cash, we can sell it and have it to you probably in 2 days. It's just, you may not get the full value, it's at whatever the market's doing at that time, if we need to
And
sell.
that's the risk of bonds.
Right,
Totally understand.
Lisa, is there any action you'd like us to take today?
I would like to sign up with that ICS.
Okay.
I would like to do that. I don't think we should tie up any more money right now,
Right.
because we've had some bigger things to pay.
Yep.
I think we should hold out till the first of the year to tie it up if the CDs, depending on where the CDs are at. Cause I had 3 million at Bremer and we had some big bills come in and we spent 2 out of there. So, cause I had other things tied up, so I think we should sit.
invest in that ICS. And
Yep, I do.
I agree. So I would accept that as a motion from the commission.
I move we sign up for the ICS.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and sign up and invest in the ICS with Bremer Bank. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else, gentlemen?
Not today.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioner.
you.
And if there are any further questions on anything we talked about,
Sure.
please feel free to
Yeah.
email or call us.
Yeah.
We're happy to.
Happy to
sit
answer
down
anything
one-on-one.
ever.
Perfect. And so we have you guys on the record. You want to state your full names for the cameras and the audio?
Yeah, Cade Sven, Bremer Bank.
And Bryce Welch with Bremer Bank.
And we want to appreciate you both coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Please
right.
excuse us, we're gonna go
I have other appointments.
I know the perfect timing for bid opening for Martin Mechanical for the generator.
Did you check with Leslie to see if there was another one?
No, we got, there's about one more minute here, at 9 o'clock, so
We'll wait a minute.
sometimes it's important that we wait that.
Yeah. So we can do that. We'll wait till Commissioner Horace gets back. There he is. So it's 9 o'clock. We'll have the bid opening for Martin Mechanical or for the generator opening for bids.
Okay.
We received
One.
one. All the requirements have been that we've been asked for.
We have 420,000. There's two copies. There's two copies in this.
So we have a proposal from General Mechanical and Engineering Electrical for the Ramsey County Courthouse generator replacement. Bergstrom Electric. Base bid, completing the general mechanical, electrical construction work for the generator replacement, $420,000. If this proposal is accepted, the bidder agrees to complete the work as specified within 335 calendar days from the date of issuance of the notice to proceed.
What was your estimate?
431. So surprisingly a little under budget, which
Yeah,
seems to be rare and rare these days, so.
That needs your requirement. Just read it over there.
Yeah, I think what I would do is, before we gave notice to proceed, I would give them a call, make sure that we had everything covered before we accepted the bid. But I think you've got a pretty good bid here, quite honestly, with one bidder, you've got a good bid.
Yeah, with one better, that it doesn't come in the whole cock.
And then you'll see there's kind of a long, 335 days is a long time, but that generator is probably like 8 to 10 months just to get it here, so that's really why it's such a long
sure.
time. Transformers are a year out. So,
Still don't understand the 2014 date in the top paragraph.
Yeah, that had to do with, that last summer. The previous,
That,
yeah.
typo on,
Written up, yeah, it was roughly a typo.
all right. Yeah, definitely take them.
Issues of the commission.
I move to approve bid after you have your conversation. Sure.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the bid for the generator replacement with Bergstrom Electrical. Further discussion? If not,
I got one. What was the allowance for trade,
For what? Sorry.
trade in? Are you not trading this one in?
No, I was, yeah,
Did figure in trying to sell it though,
So,
but no, there was no trade.
it's like, how much you thinking?
That's a good question. What the 100 kW generator go for? That's 40 years old, but it works, And who's gonna want, a hospital or something maybe, but with the backup.
We're gonna Steffes auction or something and see what you get.
so,
there's so many new compliant, or things that need to be compliant with generators, like if you look at maybe like a hospital or something, they would probably be just not interested. Because
Yeah.
it wouldn't meet their code.
that'd be my guess as well. So,
But I could probably update it. Oh, yeah.
some sort of warehouse facility or something that would need additional,
Farmers Quonset,
Yeah.
or something, 100 kW generator.
Some prepper somewhere.
Yeah, some of these guys would be surprised.
So, any further discussion or questions on the motion? You wanna do just standard, vote, or wanna do roll call?
I think just regular is fine.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got a local contract here, so.
Yeah.
Good news for you guys.
Yeah.
So how long do you think after you talk to them? Like, you said you want to contact them or?
Yeah, typically we like to talk with them and we'll just make sure that we have everything covered. I don't want to have any change orders after the fact, but it wouldn't be more than like a week. I can get back to Roger and then he can get back to you guys.
Okay,
Yeah, then just let us know next meeting or something.
perfect.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on with the agenda, under old business, we had a discussion on floodplain administration and FEMA letter. We haven't heard back on the response we sent to FEMA and the state on asking for our extension with their discussions with townships land use authorization. Sent that back, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or whenever it was due, and but have yet, I didn't put a respond within 14 days like they did, so I guess,
We should have
yeah.
10.
But I know that Chris has gotten some resolutions back from some townships. A lot of townships still have a lot of questions regarding what they should do. Should they relinquish, if they relinquish floodplain administration to the county, do they get to keep their other planning and zoning? They certainly do. And I think, they've kind of been able to piecemeal that together, and it just takes a township meeting in order to complete that. And when townships are able to get together and satisfy that requirement, but so that's kind of where we're at. I don't know, Lee, have you heard anything more out in township
No,
discussions?
Cooley Township signed it, I don't know if we got it back.
They did.
I haven't had anybody else ask me any questions.
There's been a lot of discussion around lake area townships, where a lot of that stuff is. And what we had asked with our correspondence with FEMA is that they come up and whether it be a full day presentation, a couple hours, where we can get everybody in a room, whether it be township officers, insurance agents that are writing flood insurance policies, county commission, city commission, anybody that has an interest in floodplain administration and management, because what they're asking is an awful lot from townships and county to take over. So we just want to make sure that we understand it completely and that all our questions are answered before we go ahead and sign off on what we're doing and what they're asking for. So I would hope that they would accommodate us in our requests. We do fit a little unique niche within the country as far as what is considered a closed basin here in the Devil's Lake area. So very unique and different from river flooding. If you take a look where the lake was 30 years ago to where it is today, we'd still be flooding. But a lot of infrastructure has been built up and things that were in peril have been moved, whether it be homes or businesses. Still have, 100,000 acres of deeded private property underwater. So that's something for them to take into consideration as a whole.
That's the only thing I would add, anybody listening is not making a decision, is making a decision, so you can't ride the fence on this one. Townships have to make a decision one way or the other, because if they don't, they're gonna lose the opportunity to protect their assets, so.
Right. Yep.
You can't ride the fence on this one.
No. So hopefully, if they have questions, contact Chris. I know he wanted to be here today. He's doing a training out at Camp Grafton this morning. I guess it's an all-day training that he's had on the books for quite some time. So, but if you have any questions, contact Chris Jager, our emergency manager, one of the county commissioners, township supervisor, or ask your insurance agent if they have questions. So, but yeah, don't ride the fence. A decision's gonna have to be made, and hopefully coming up within this winter, so everybody can get the proper coverage that they need come prior to spring. So, Anything else? LEC, JPA and land deeds, from my understanding, they're still being worked on. The joint powers agreement had something to do with the property being deeded over to the law enforcement center. They're waiting on abstracts. For some reason, they felt that those were necessary to do on property that had always been public, hasn't been borrowed against or loans on or changed or any type of legal descriptions in question. So still waiting on that, and hopefully we can put this thing to bed before the first of the year. I know the LEC meets, I think it's the 21st of November. What's that? Third Wednesday behind you, look like? 21st, yep. So I think we actually meet, we meet the 21st, they meet the 22nd. So hopefully we can have something in place before our next meeting, and we can sign off on it, and then the LEC can sign off on it on the next day, and this thing can be put to rest. So never knew changing property was gonna be that convoluted, and but is what it is, I guess. Anybody have any other questions on that? All right. Oh, new business, meeting dates. Candy has presented our meeting dates for 2024. Notice there are a couple of them that are different from the first and third Tuesdays. I think next November is being election, would be Thursday, November 7th. And January 4th, the first meeting of the new year, would be Thursday. Other questions on meeting dates? Leave them at the same time. First Tuesday at 8 a.m., third Tuesday at 5:30. Work for everybody, seems to. All right. So, a motion to approve the proposed 2024 meeting dates.
I would so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the 2024 meeting dates as presented. Further discussion? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Candy. Homestead credit,
Good approved.
Second.
motion and a second to go ahead and approve the homestead credit. I think there's just the one.
Yep.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Site authorization,
Move to approve, second.
rural fire, Krill golf course. I think it's their annual gun raffle.
No site authorization, that's not for the raffle, is it?
Just site authorization.
Raffle permits.
Oh, yeah.
Any questions on the site authorization? If not, somebody make a motion to approve.
Yes.
We did?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Operation Green Light for Veterans. This is something that we've done the past couple of years. I think this is the second year we've done it. The National Association of Counties sends out this support for Operation Greenlight for veterans, just letting veterans know that how much they're needed and we support them. And we appreciate everything they have done for the freedoms that have been allowed within our country and our community. And Roger, if you haven't noticed, Roger put the green lights in the canopy of the courthouse, and they're on 24/7 for the next week, starting yesterday. And if I don't know if we have any additional lights available for public to pick up, but we had a bunch last year, and I think they all got spoken for. So we'll have to maybe next year order some ahead of time. But if people want to do that, they can go ahead and leave their porch light on. And this is just a resolution of support from the county supporting the veterans and everything they do for the last couple of lines is with the designation as a green light for Veteran County, Ramsey County hereby declares from October through Veterans Day, November 11th, 2023, a time to salute and honor the service and sacrifices of our men and women in uniform transitioning from active service. Therefore, be it resolved that in observance of Operation Greenlight, Ramsey County encourages its citizens in patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made the immeasurable sacrifices to preserve the freedom by displaying green lights in a window of their place of business or residence from November 6th through November 12th, 2023. Dated this day, November 7th, 2023. Motion to go ahead and approve that resolution supporting Operation Greenlight.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Thank you, veterans. And this coming Saturday is Veterans Day. At the Memorial Building, they'll be having a service honoring all veterans at the Memorial Building with, I think they're doing a free will chili meet at the VFW following that at noon. So veteran service is at 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. So thank you, veterans. Employee evaluations. We got a packet, I think, last month of our department heads portfolios that we oversee. I know Commissioner Gassman's been in the building completing his. If you haven't completed yours with your department heads, please do so. I think HR asked for those to be back sometime in December, so December 1st. Okay. So if we could get those employee evaluations. One of the things that was brought up recently was vacation leave requests. I don't know if commissioners are getting those from their department heads. Brian didn't think that anybody's, cheating or skirting that, but if we don't get them, we don't know. They're not being requested through us as a department head. I think they have a form that they say what days are gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And whether or not they get approved or not. Some departments are really good with doing those and others, maybe not so well with, but I know they keep track of them in other ways, because Brian did say that he is keeping track of those through payroll reports and different things like that. It's just, he has a portfolio of a department should be doing that for all non-elected department heads. And that's all I have for new business.
Yeah, we have that raffle
One more.
permit.
Oh,
Search and rescue.
I got the old agenda up there on the screen. So we have another,
It's just a raffle, just a raffle.
oh, okay.
So moved.
So move on the raffle permit,
Second.
search and rescue,
Through the ice.
Fire Through the Ice raffle. So, motion and a second, further questions on the raffle permit? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Visitors, Mr. Brown, welcome.
Yes, I guess I'm kind of concerned about why landowners have to take their bobcats out and make a track off the road where to let the water off. Why aren't those edges brought in and put in the road? When you get to mowing the ditches, it's pretty hard when you come along to where somebody's taking a bobcat and pushed into the ditch.
Right?
It's not easy.
Questions on that? Kevin, any answers, solutions?
There should be, I suppose part of it is the blade operator, but there should be reclaimed shoulders too, that's part of that operation or that stuff we do in their spring, every spring. Gets rid of that bridge.
Yeah, but when they do recycle it, they don't get out there and bring that stuff back in. They just leave it. I've been around a long time, so I know what's happening. And I'm serious about it because there's all kinds of roads like it.
So water's not flowing off the roads, it's sitting on the edges?
There's no crown. There's a ridge along there. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 inches. Well, you get 4 or 5 inches of water laying on the road. People aren't gonna drive through it. That's why they're out there pushing it off. And I've seen the county maintainer do that too.
Creates a problem.
I know Kevin and I have talked about this, of the reclaiming. And a lot of the townships don't want to reclaim. And I was gonna bring it up when it comes this next spring. I don't think we should give them the option. I think even if we included in the first blade, we just reclaim these township roads. I know a lot of people complain that we bring this stuff there, it sits there, and yeah, you're gonna have a week or two when it sits there, but if we don't reclaim the road, and I'll use a couple roads, examples, my road there, I went out and checked it. It probably hasn't been reclaimed in 10 years, but the townships don't wanna do it because they don't want the mess. If we don't set it up as a county, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. We just don't even charge them for the reclaim, just include it in the first blade. And then it's a done deal, there's no question. We don't have the public asking about the reclaiming, and we don't have the township complaining that they're getting charged for the reclaiming. Just reclaim it the first one and move on from there so that we can get that gravel back onto the road.
Okay, then make sure that your blade man does that on the first blade.
And that's something that we'll have to work with you, Kevin, on.
Well,
You know? And a perfect opportunity, if we're hiring new blade guys, perfect opportunity to train these guys in the spring, so that it just becomes the norm. You know, I think, I mean, we'd have to obviously vote on it, but
Is that a time-consuming endeavor, Kevin?
If we did every road, it takes us about, maybe 10 days to do all the county roads and all the townships to do it now.
or even make it an option every odd year or something, you know?
So is that
Well,
something
just
that?
sort the townships out
Right.
and do half, even year, half off.
That's what I meant.
But something's gotta be done because there's places where it's 6 inches.
Yeah.
And I've seen it go by my place and they redid it, what they had to do, but the blade man never got out there. I can remember 40, 50 years ago, we used to cuss the maintainer man because he went out there and brought that green stuff up put it on there, you couldn't hardly take a drill up the road, but we didn't have any water laying on the road either.
In the long run, you're better off.
You're better off, yes. But you gotta get that stuff up onto the road.
So we do every one of our gravel roads every year.
Yeah.
And Kevin, like I said, Kevin and I have talked about it because it's something we said that we
I mean, the problem with doing it every other year is the roads that are that bad, you gotta do them every year to get them,
Right.
you know, I mean,
Catch up.
it takes
time.
2 or 3 years to get them, you know,
It's not a one-time deal.
right.
Right,
Yeah,
You know,
you know, and just to do it once and then come back, you know,
and maybe we like.
leave it 1 year and then come back and next year, still lengthening out the process to get that edge reclaimed. I mean, it should, you know, I know when we first did it, included township, it was a couple, 3 years before we actually started to see
The improvement.
the improvement, you know,
And I guess what I see, and my concern of it, you get that, like you said, that 6 inches of gravel out there. But it just seems like with the bigger equipment nowadays, and if we don't reclaim, it seems like the roads are getting narrower and narrower, right? So then when we do haul gravel, it seems like, oh, we're saving money in the long run, but really we're not, because we have this 6 inches of gravel sitting on the edge that we could bring back. You know,
as I've had a conversation with the township officer, and he said he didn't think you could force anybody to do it. I guess I don't know that I agree with that, because if you wanna hire us, and that's our procedure.
yeah, we just don't, if we don't charge for it, it's our procedure that we have in the first blade. That's what it is.
You know, and I guess, I don't know that,
not
I'm not charging wouldn't set with me, I guess, because that's,
Or if it's a procedure, it's a procedure.
yeah, you know, and I guess that was something that, you know, I guess since the question was raised to me, that's something that we should make sure that we can do is put that out there that, okay, if you hire us, this is how it gets done, you know, we're gonna reclaim your road. The first, you know, and then,
And move on from there.
right,
If you don't like it, figure it out yourself.
well, yeah.
I just don't understand the process of not doing it. Why you wouldn't wanna do it.
Well, I guess what's Red brought up to me is they don't want black dirt on the road. But for the amount of black dirt you're actually bringing up with that disc compared to what's happening out there right now, you know, with the roads and the fields and stuff the way they are, I mean, that's, you know, not even close to.
Right.
Maybe that's something we can work on for a procedure and information for that annual township meeting that we do with the townships in March or April or whenever that is.
Alright.
And let them know that this is something that we will be doing and why we're doing it and why it's important to do, kind of thing. And
Because I've had, you know, the same complaints, and then ask, well, are you reclaiming the road? Well, no. Well, okay.
I'm the same, and I was in the same situation, some people, well, we're not crowning the roads good enough, and I was like, well, you can crown the road all day long. If you don't reclaim that, you're never gonna get it to run off. It's gonna become a section line. That's just-
That's the thing, they're trying to get enough material to crown the road, and it ends up coming from the shoulder to get the crown, well, then that bridge shows up.
I mean, and then you got this, you know, you don't have enough gravel on your road to work, well, that's not their fault or ours. You know. So if you're not reclaiming the road, it just makes it that much worse, in my opinion. And I don't wanna be one of the 7,000 bosses those guys have, but it goes back to, you know, what Jeff said earlier about, you know, don't stop and chew that guy's butt. The process is you talk to Kevin, you talk to you guys, and then it comes here, you know, that's. I'm not saying don't talk to your blade man, because I think it's important to get to know the guy and, you know.
bring them a box of cookies,
Well,
you know.
you know, well, just get to know the guy and then investigate the process. You know, I mean,
It's
When
gonna
I
be,
got on the commission, you know, I don't see these problems because I think we got a pretty good blade man out there in, you know, that area, so I wasn't aware that this was going on, but I know when I was on the township board, they were complaining about the disc. So, okay, we'll go back and have John do it with the blade. Well, then they really complained because, well, hey, okay, you can have it, we gotta reclaim the road, so you can either do it with that, you know, like you said, all that stuff would be up on the road, cause they'd have to work it back 2 or 3 times to get it broke up, or we can do it with the disc. Okay, I guess we'll do it with the disc, you know, but I mean, that's, I know John talked to me when I was, you know, when we decided, oh God, you really want me to do this, but hey, that's what we're being told, so then after a year of that,
We wanted this.
they wanted the disc, so.
You know, I know Newman bought a reclaimer this spring, and you can already see the difference in the road. Just the water's not, it's able to get off the edge.
That's after 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, and the water just has to drain off, it doesn't have to run off, so you don't have to have that. If you're taking care of the edge of the road, then the rest of the road doesn't have the,
The rest of it will take care of itself.
yeah, you don't have a big hump in the middle either. So yeah, I think that's something that you work on that this winter and maybe we could have a presentation at that meeting.
you know,
We could even send it out, you know, maybe if there's any change in prices and all that.
We do send out a letter to all the townships in the spring, asking if they want reclaiming them. Ones that respond to, but maybe we'll have to change the wording a little bit.
you know, see if the LTAP has a, informational presentation of why it's important and why do it kind of thing, and, you know, something just to put a little reminder to people that this is why it's done and the benefits of doing it, kind of thing. So, we got a lot of really good information on that site of theirs. Anything else, Rodney?
Well, I guess they did that on the county road too, on number 4.
Yeah,
Swiped it off and put a lot of gravel in the ditch, and we were told that that would be brought back up. And it never has. You can't get, once the gravel's in the ditch, you aren't gonna get it out. So I guess that's all I got. I'm not out there beating the bush anymore, so, but I've been around long enough to know that roads gotta be taken care of.
well, we appreciate you coming in and giving us a heads up on that. So, we need more people like you to come in and let us know what's going on. Because,
Well, I was hauling grain one time and I was supposed to be certified seed, and I went to the boss and I said the floor wasn't swept when I come. Well, when I got back, I caught hell from the hell. And I said, you go to the top and start at the top. You don't start down halfway.
yeah,
So that's why I'm here.
so,
This is supposed to be the top here, so.
the buck stops right here. So, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Sheriff Lang, we need to get you on the agenda.
I got nothing for you.
Nothing for us?
No.
Appreciate you being here. So, thank you. Announcements, portfolios. Anybody, I know it's, at the beginning of the month and a lot of meetings haven't taken place for the month yet, but if anybody has a portfolio report would like to share, Blaine, anything?
I don't, we haven't met.
Well,
Everybody's been pretty sick, so.
Yeah, so I just had a question, I was gonna add it to the agenda and forgot. DOT, have we heard any response back from
oh, that letter that was due the 1st of November? No, haven't heard anything back. And that was sent out, right? Yeah. And everybody was CC'd on it, and that was CC'd on it before, and so I'm sure they're going through with their engineering staff and that kind of thing, and, you know, if we don't hear anything soon, you know, we'll have to keep on them. So,
Sorry for not getting on the agenda.
no, that's,
Just one thing I got an email yesterday for the fair board that we were declined on the destination grant. In the letter, they said that they made a strategic decision, I think is how they put it, to prioritize projects that created more winter visitation to the state, which I think changed the guidance of the grant, and it, I don't know, that didn't sit well with me, but we have a meeting tomorrow night for the fair board.
25 million that they dispersed throughout the state. I think 1.7 was awarded to Woodland Resort for some sort of event center. So my guess is they're probably not gonna have horse shows and rodeos in there.
So that's, I guess, where,
Well, we put a lot of stock and effort into those grants that they
well,
are
that's
applying
the
for.
thing that kinda irritated me was, Elvina did a lot of work, and there's a couple other people,
Yeah,
Margaret, they put a lot of work into that, and then make a strategic decision after they had 81 grant applications.
Right.
that, well, we're gonna lean towards the winter activities, that wasn't right, I don't think. In my opinion, that's,
you know,
I don't
Mm,
think the state thinks that was.
100% agree with you. I think that the event center that the fair board is being proposed is, it has winter activities in mind. Because if we were just doing activities out there in the summertime, we wouldn't need a building.
So that's kind of disheartening, so after our meeting tomorrow night, it's too late, tomorrow
Yeah.
night. Let's go back to the drawing board, I guess. Planning and zoning commission, we will meet here tomorrow at 7:30.
Okay. Anything else? Paul?
I've got human services sometime this month, I can't remember the exact date, but
Yeah. LEC meets in 2 weeks. Hopefully things continue to move forward with that. I know Sheriff Lang has given us some updates on some numbers from Narcotics Task Force with the amount of product taken off our streets and seizures made. So kudos to those guys for doing the job they're doing, keeping our community safe. If that's what's being taken off the streets, you just wonder what's still out there. So thank you. That Airport Authority is continuing to move forward with the expansion of the terminal. I think for the past 6 months or so, I think we've set record monthly boardings out of the airport and continue to see good numbers flying out of Devil's Lake despite the convoluted mess trying to get to the terminal. So, but everything is on schedule for that expansion to be complete come April, May next year. So, should be a great addition to our community. I think listening to the city commission last night, they do have some public meetings coming up on the healthcare of our community. Mayor Mo was indicating, and I can't remember the dates, but I'm sure they'll be listed. They're trying to gauge some public information to bring back to Senator Hogan for healthcare needs within our community. I think they have a couple public meetings scheduled at the Elders Lake City Fire Department coming up. So certainly encourage people to watch out for them. Healthcare in our communities is vitally important. Other than that, nothing. I want to thank Candy and our staff for doing all that they do. I know Candy puts in an awful lot of hours keeping everybody straight and all the numbers aligned, and so we appreciate our county employees. And just a reminder, county offices will be closed in observance for Veterans Day on Friday. So with that, meeting adjourned.